Well, hello everyone, and welcome to today's writing lesson. My name is Mrs. Collum, and I'm going to be your teacher for today's lesson. Now, for today, you will need paper and pencil. And because we're going to be doing these lessons for the next 6 weeks, it's important that you have some sort of folder to keep all your papers organized, because some lessons I may ask you to pull out paperwork from the previous lesson. So you're going to want to make sure you have some sort of folder to organize all your writing papers. Now, this is 6 weeks of writing lessons, and at the end of the 6 weeks, you're going to be writing an essay. And I know some of you may say, there's no way that can happen, but I promise you, I'm going to break down all the pieces of an essay into small parts. I'm going to teach them to you in a really easy way. And before you know it, you're going to have an essay in front of you. Now, for today's lesson, we are just going to be talking about different types of writing and how to identify keywords, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen with my document camera, and I want to go over the 3 types of writing we're going to be discussing today. Now, I do want to remind everyone that there are many types of writing. Today, we're just talking about 3 of them, okay? The first one is expository writing. Now, expository writing is when you just explain something to your reader. That's it. So if it said, write an expository essay about animals, you would just explain about animals in your essay. If you were writing a narrative, all narrative means is you're just telling a story. So you'd have a beginning, a middle, and an end, okay? It would be this, you would just tell a story. And the last type of writing that we're going to be talking about is argumentative writing. Now, argumentative writing is just like an opinion essay, okay? So I'm going to write opinion over here just so we don't forget that it's like an opinion essay. And basically, you are just telling how you think or feel about something. And my favorite way to describe argumentative is that you have to pick a side, okay? So I'll write a little note here, pick a side. And what I mean by that is, with argumentative writing, a lot of times it's going to say things to you like, write an argumentative essay about whether or not schools should have vending machines. Okay, so you're going to have to either choose the side of, yes, I think schools should have vending machines, and write your essay about that. Or you're going to choose the other side of, no, I don't think schools should have vending machines, and write your essay about that. So you've got to pick a side. Or it might say something like, write an opinion essay about whether or not students should be able to bring snacks to school, right? So you would have to pick the side of, yes, I think students should be able to bring snacks to school, or no, I don't think students should be able to bring snacks to school. And whatever side you choose, you would write your essay about that. So you're telling how you think or feel about a topic. Okay, so now I want to talk about, for each of these, you need to know which one you're going to be writing, right? You need to know, am I writing an expository essay? Am I writing a narrative essay? Or am I writing an argumentative essay? And the way that you find out that is by reading the prompt. Now, the prompt is just simply directions that tell you what to write about. And in every prompt, there are key words, okay? Those key words tell you what type of essay you're going to be writing. So for expository, I'm going to write this with a blue highlighter. If you see the keywords explain or inform, you know you're writing an expository essay. If you see the words story or tell, you know you're writing a narrative essay. And if you see the words, I already have opinion here, opinion or feel or think. Oops, it went off the side of the paper. Let me put it down here. Feel or think, you know you're writing an argumentative essay. So I typed this up nicely for you. So I'm going to show you on another paper here. So you know, if you see the words explain or inform, you're writing an expository essay. If you see the word story or tell, you're writing a narrative essay. And if you see the words opinion or feel or think, you're writing an argumentative. Okay, so I want to show you some prompts, and then we're going to use these keywords and we're going to figure out what type of essay we are writing. So let's do some of these together and see how this is all done. So I'm going to put these, I want to keep the keywords here so you have them. So I'm going to lift up my document camera a little bit, and I'm going to put our first prompt up. Okay, let's make sure we can see all of it. Push it over here. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Our first prompt is write to explain about your favorite animal. Now, you are looking for one of these keywords: explain, inform, story, tell, opinion, feel, or think. Now, I did forget to tell you that the keyword could also be the type of writing. So if it says expository, that's also a keyword for expository. Or if it says write a narrative, you know you're writing a narrative. Or it could just say write an argumentative. So also this word is a keyword for it as well. Okay, now, what keyword do you see? You should have all said explain. So I'm going to circle it. And I'm going to write an E up here for expository because the keyword is explain, I know I'm writing an expository essay, so I wrote an E. That means that I'm writing an expository essay that explains about my favorite animal. So if I pick a dog, my essay is just going to explain about a dog. That's what I'm going to write about. It's really important when you're writing an essay that you know exactly what the prompt is asking you to write about. We know we're explaining. Let's look at another prompt. Write a story about a time you went on vacation. I'll give you a few seconds to see which keyword you see in this prompt. Which keyword is it? Explain, inform, story, tell, opinion, feel, or think? Which keyword do you see? You should have all said story. That's the keyword. I'm going to circle it. And I know because the keyword is story, I'm writing a narrative essay. So I'm going to put an N up here because it's a narrative. Now, if this was the prompt, I know I'm just telling a story about a time I went on vacation. I'm not explaining. Remember the other prompts that explain about your favorite animal? No. For this essay, I'm just telling a story about a time I went on vacation. Okay, let's look at some more. Write your opinion about schools having Fridays off. That's a pretty good topic. Do you think that schools should have Fridays off? You'd have to say either, yes, I think schools should have Fridays off, or no, I don't think schools should have Fridays off. Does anyone see the key word? It's either explain, inform, story, tell, opinion, or feel or think. Hopefully you all said opinion. It's opinion. That's my key word. And I know that opinion is a key word for argumentative. So I'm going to put an A up in this corner because I know this is an argumentative prompt because it has the keyword opinion. I know I'm not explaining anything. I know I'm not telling a story. I know that I'm simply giving my opinion about either yes, schools should have off on Fridays or no, schools should not have off on Fridays. Okay, let's look at another one. Write to explain about a person that is special to you. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to find this keyword. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, you should have the keyword. Ready? The keyword is explain. Which means, should I put an E, an N, or an A? An E, an N, or an A? An E, because explain means it's an expository essay. Okay. You guys are getting good at this, but I still got more prompts because I still want to do more practice. Okay. Maybe this one will trick you a little. Let's see. Write to inform your reader about frogs. 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Write to inform your reader about frogs. What's the key word? Do you see explain, inform, story, tell, opinion, feel, or think? It's inform. And we know inform means we're writing an expository essay. So I'm going to put an E here. Up until now, all the expository prompts said the word explain, but this one said inform. That's one of the key words for expository. It could say explain or inform, or it could just say expository. Then you know it's expository as well. Okay. Ooh, let's see if this one tricks you. Write an argumentative essay about whether kids should have cell phones or not. Write an argumentative essay about whether kids should have cell phones or not. Does anybody see what the key word is? I kind of told you this in the beginning, so hopefully someone remembers. It's not explain or inform or story or tell or opinion or feel or think. It's actually the word for the type of essay. It says argumentative right there, which means it's definitely argumentative. It's not even a key word. It's just telling us write an argumentative. So that's what the key word is, argumentative, and we're writing an argumentative. That one's easy. It may say write a narrative about blah, 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 or write an expository about blah, blah, blah. Sometimes it'll have this word just right in there, and that way you automatically know what type of essay it is. Okay, so this one is an argumentative. All right. One more in our practice round. Write to tell, should be an R there, right? To tell your reader about a time you found something special. Write to tell your reader about a time you found something special. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The key word is tell. Okay, which means I'm writing a narrative. So I'm going to put an N. Okay, see how easy this is? Now, as a reminder, all these that we just went over, these are prompts. Prompts. The prompts tell you what to write about. These are prompts. And when you read the prompt, you're looking for these keywords. Okay? You're looking for these keywords as you read the prompts. And that's going to tell you what type of essay you're writing is by looking at those keywords. And you will know if you're writing an expository, a narrative, or an argumentative. Okay, this is where I need you to take your paper and pencil out. I need you just to number 1 through 7. I'll give you 2 minutes, number 1 through 7. Okay, all we're going to do is we are going to put, if it's an expository prompt, you're going to put an E next to the number. If it's an argumentative prompt, you're going to put an A next to the number. If it's a narrative prompt, you're going to put an N next to the number. Okay, and then we're going to check it. So let's start with number 1. Oops, don't look at number 2 yet. You gotta block that. Number 1. And I'm going to keep this sheet of keywords right next to it as well. Write to inform your reader about alligators. Now, I'm going to do this one with you, so I just want to show you how to do it. But then after that, you can do the rest on your own. So number 1, I know the keyword is inform. So I'm going to go to my number 1. Inform means that it's an expository. And I said for expository, I'm writing E. So I'm going to go next to number 1 and write an E. That's all you would write as an E. We're done with number 1. Okay, because we know the keyword is inform, and that means it's expository. So that's why I wrote an E next to number 1. Okay, number 2. Write to tell your reader about a time you lost something. Write to tell your reader about a time you lost something. Next to number 2, I want you to write an E if it's expository, an N if it's narrative, or an A if it's argumentative. Okay, number 3. Write to explain about your favorite movie. Write to explain about your favorite movie. So next to number 3, or on number 3, you're going to write an E if you think it's an expository, N if you think it's narrative, and A if you think it's argumentative. Number 4, write your opinion about kids having a bedtime. Write your opinion about kids having a bedtime. Next to number 4, write an E if you think it's an expository prompt, an N if you think it's a narrative prompt, or an A if you think it's an argumentative prompt. Number 5, write an argumentative essay about whether schools should sell candy or not. This should be an easy one. Next to number 5 on your paper, write an E if you think this is an expository prompt. Write an N if you think it's a narrative prompt. And write an A if you think it's an argumentative prompt. Okay, last 2. Number 6, write a story about a time you received a gift. Write an E if you think it's expository, an N if you think it's narrative, or an A if you think it's argumentative. And number 7, write to explain about your favorite place to visit. Write an E if you think it's expository, an N if you think it's narrative, or an A if you think it's argumentative. Okay, let's check these answers, see how you did. Number 1, we did together. So number 1, we already said that the keyword was inform, which means it's an expository essay. So we wrote an E next to number 1. Number 2, The key word is tell. And if you look over here, tell means it's a narrative. So for number 2, you should have put an N next to number 2. All right, number 3, write to explain about your favorite movie. The key word is explain. If you look over here, explain means it's an expository. So for number 3, you should have written an E. Number 4, write your opinion about kids having a bedtime. The key word is opinion. If you look here, opinion means it's argumentative, which is A. So for number 4, you should have an A. Number 5, write an argumentative essay about whether schools should sell candy or not. This was the one that I said was easy because the key word is argumentative, which means it's an argumentative essay. That one's easy. So for number 5, you should have an A. Number 6, write a story about a time you received a gift. The key word is story, which means it's a narrative. So for number 6, you should have an N. And the last one, number 7, write to explain about your favorite place to visit. The key word is explain, which means it's an expository. So for number 7, you should have an E. So to check all your answers, I'll leave that up for a second. All right, so as a quick review for today, we went over 3 types of writing: expository, narrative, and argumentative. We went over the key words for each type. So you know if you see explain or inform in the prompt, it's an expository. If you see the words story or tell in the prompt, it's narrative. And if you see the words opinion, feel, or think, it's argumentative. Okay? All right, next lesson, we're going to start planning for an essay. Okay, we're going to go right into the beginning parts of writing it, which starts with planning. So make sure you have a folder, have paper and pencil ready for next week or next lesson, I'm sorry. And I will see you at the next writing lesson. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.